Hello, everyone. This is Dwayne Golden. It's good to see you tonight. Very special times as we all work towards a really great close to the end of the year. Good to see you, and lots of love to you and your families. And this webinar tonight is really along the lines of giving you some foundational leadership principles, and at the same time, throwing out a cry for help for your loved ones and for the dreams and visions that you actually have for your business and what you intend to do. So tonight, I want you to, first of all, let me check my sound. If you could hear me okay, type in the number one. If I'm not loud enough or if I'm too loud, let me know. But if it's fine, just type in the number one. That way I know that even the recording will be fine and that I don't have to make any adjustments. I also wanted to let you know that as we approach the end of this year, certainly, it's high time. It is high time for each of us to look down deep within and make the necessary changes to have a successful business and to have and fight for those dreams and visions that we have for our people we love most. So I'm going to ask you a couple of things. I'm going to ask you to be patient enough to hear me out. I'm also going to ask you to certainly do your personal inventory while I'm talking tonight for several reasons. Let me go ahead and tilt this so I can be centered here. I like to be centered. Okay, there we go. I want to make sure that each of you are prepared for year's ending, regardless of upline, downline, sidelines, right? And that's the idea. So I want to just let you know before I begin how happy I am that you all are a part of the Ingresso family and for the dedication that you've shown in working hard to build your business. I just wanted to make sure that you were prepared, that you, first of all, were acknowledged for your hard work, what you're doing, and what exactly you can do to be successful this year. So I'm going to get started. As I do, I want you to note, please, I might sound a little harsh, and I don't want to. And I may sound a little curt, and I mean to be curt, but I don't mean for it to be personally offensive. I just want to encourage you that there's so much you can do. Now, when it comes to this idea of multi-level marketing, before I put my slides on, I want you guys to note, this thing is not about good luck. It's not about just just jumping on everything that comes along. It's so admirable to have multiple business. That's good. Have multiple streams of income is brilliant. But I'm going to tell you something. That concept isn't to have multiple streams of no income. That doesn't make sense. So if you can't get one thing together and you think keep getting new ones is going to do it for you, I want to encourage you, before I begin this training, I want you to hear me out. Hear me out. You can do this, but you can't do it if it's luck. You can't do it if it's just a bunch of finding the next thing that goes along, and of course missing the foundational principles. Now, I'm fortunate. I was able to get my principles as a young man growing up in a impoverished time. You see, I'm no different than you guys. I grew up in a family of 9, and many days that meal we got was the only meal when we got it. I was one who grew up and slept in the same bedroom with my brothers, one bed, up until I was like close to 11 years old. And we finally began to move out and find better places. I spent the nights in many women's shelters and nowhere to go, many times being homeless, sleeping in cars. So I understand. So when I talk about what I'm going to talk about, don't think I'm talking about it as a way of I don't understand. I do understand, and that's why I cry for help for you. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to begin, and as I tell you this, understand I really know exactly what you're going through. I know that many of you are alone. Some of you aren't sure where to turn next. You're days away from losing your home. Don't think I haven't been there and get it. I get it and have been there, okay? Now, I'm going to try to knock out several webinars over the next 7 days. I'm not feeling too well. I have to be checked out and so forth. I may be offline for a little bit, for a week or two. So I want to make sure I can give you this love now. If you're ready, type in the number 2. We're going to go ahead and get started because it's so important. to make sure that I can share this message with you tonight. Now, as I do share it with you, I want you to note that you're very special to me, and that is not going to change. In fact, I'm going to tell you this. You're not just special to me, but you're the reason this business can continue to go on and on and on, because it's for you and about you. It's not about me and my business partners. We already committed when we started to not get started using this business to build our wealth. We have our other businesses that make us wealthy. We don't have to use this one. This one's for you. And we proudly continue to pay out between 7 and 8 figures a year in commissions to you guys. And it's continuing to build up. It's a lot stronger this year than any year yet. And so you're a part of it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. Now I'm gonna share with you some principles I got from one of the pastors at my church. He wrote a book called The 5 Levels of Leadership. Now I'm going to share with you, John Maxwell, if some of you have heard of him. He wrote a book about it, and I want to talk to you about it from an MLM perspective about the 5 levels of leadership. So I'm going to turn on vMerge, and so you can see my screen. And if you can see my screen, I want you to understand something, that when it comes to leading people, when it comes to multi-level marketing, it's about people and it's about leadership. And the good thing is, leadership is not even that you're gonna be able to buy. It's not some special place you're going to arrive in, a position that you're going to get into and sit at the throne. It is literally a choice that you can make. And I want to help you to make it. There's some foundational principles you can use in leadership. You don't have to be bombastic. You don't have to be the greatest speaker in the world. You don't have to be someone who's mean and curt. You can make the choice to be a leader. And if you're ready to make a choice to be a leader, your income can grow in multi-level marketing. You don't have to join 7 companies a year or 15 companies every 3 years. You can literally have your feet grounded and rock and roll. If you're ready for that, type in number 3, because it's time to get going. So now, as I tell you that, I know you get it. I know you get it. So as we move in to step number 1 of this concept, I want you to note that not only is leadership not just a place you sit, literally, you must understand the first level. There's 5 levels. I'm going to give you the basic foundational level first. This is the level of position. Now, most people get this wrong. Most people believe that leadership is finally having a position that you're the manager, that you're the boss, that you're the top earner, that you are the master distributor. That's not leadership. Okay. In fact, I should say that's just the basic element. That is not where the real stuff comes from. Position. Hey, some people can buy a position. Some people get a position because they're related. They just, hey, my uncle owns the carpet business, so I'm the leader. But let me tell you something. The foundational principle, this stuff of building a business in multi-level marketing, direct sales, home business, affiliate marketing, if you're talking about leadership, position is just the first level. It's a great place, but a title means nothing. You could tonight be the master distributor of several companies you've been a part of. You can tonight be the guy or the girl that 3 years ago you were the national director of a company. And at that time, you're making $20,000. You're making $20,000 a month or week. Doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. It's bigger than position. Hey, Dwayne Jr., it's good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going great. We're breaking it down. This idea of what can happen in multi-level marketing, home business, direct sales, using principles. And you sharing the principles of the 5 levels of 5 levels of leadership. I'm starting off with the first level, which is position. I mean, how many of you have ever worked with someone, right? And they work with a boss. You were smarter. You did all the work. They got all the credit. And it was annoying to you, but they had the position, right? Yeah. And you know what? You're not the only person that's happened to. It's happened to all of us. And here's the deal. You don't want to be a leader like that. You know, it's amazing to me how most of us think that the top level of leadership is finally getting that title. Titles mean nothing. You know, I'm the CEO of this company, but I'm going to tell you something. Whatever I am as a leader has nothing to do with that title. That title is something that legally you have to put on the paperwork for the company or as an owner of the company, blah, 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 and who's actually going to be the chief executive officer. But let me tell you something. The leadership that matters is the leadership that's in the trenches with the people beyond position. The leadership that's willing to roll up its sleeve and do it too. The leadership that's willing to sacrifice and also give and contribute. If you get that, type it in number 1. Dwayne, as I move forward and look at the second level of leadership, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that as we look at the second level, you're in good shape because position is something you can get. We know that. You can get to a position. Sometimes many of the MLM companies out there, Dwayne, they will actually have someone come in at the highest level. They'll actually open up a spot or give them someone else's and move someone out. Positions, you can come by that.
Yep.
But the next level is a key. Some of you guys can't get past this one. This is a struggle. This is a struggle for you. And here it goes. This is the permission level. This is the second level, permission, right? What do you mean by permission, Dwayne? Glad you've asked. Permission, people follow you because they want to. See, when you have the permission level, it's not about the position. It's one thing to say, I'm the boss, you must listen. That's one thing. But it's another to have people say, I love what she's doing. I love being on her team. I want to follow her. There's something to it. The permission level. This one is all about relationships. You see, the first level I talked about, which is the position, right? That's not about relationships. That's just about geography, a location. This one is about relationships. Now, some of you struggle. You don't like people, but you want to be a top earner in a company. You want to produce for your family 5 figures, but you don't get along with people well and you don't like them well. You don't manage your relationships well. But the good news is, if you don't know how to do it, it's not the end of the world. You can learn. The powerful thing about business is the minute you stop feeding this monster, your business will become stagnant and begin to decline. You can work on your relationships. You can learn. You can buy books. You can go online. You can use Google. There's so many solutions. But if you do not like people, right, they're not going to literally want to follow because they want to. They're going to follow because you're the boss, you're the upline, but they're going to despise you. We've seen that over the years, even in this company. Who said, I don't like my sponsor, I want to move. Sometimes it's because they're lazy. Sometimes it's because they rightfully are not being treated right by the upline. It depends on the situation. But you can ground yourself and have the consistent, ongoing residual income because you put something down that's solid. And here's the cool news. If you guys are ready for the good news for you as we go through these 5 levels, type in the number 5 because I'm going to share it with you. The good news for you, every one of you here, whether you're quiet, whether you've never led anybody before, whether you've never parented, it's okay. Tonight, you get to find out exactly what you can do that can leverage and level the ground for you, no matter who you're in business with. As you're typing that in, oh, good, okay, all right, we're in the right place. As you're typing that in, I want to share something with you, the good news. And the good news sounds like this, that you all have 168 hours a week, right, for your time. You have that. And the other good news is you can use it however you like. You have no less hours than I do, and you have no more than I do. You have no more or less than Dwayne Jr. But here's the cool thing about it. Principles work the same for everybody who applies it. So if you can apply the principle of permission-based leadership, stop demanding that people follow you because you're the upline. Stop demanding because you've been doing it for 20 years because no one really cares. But literally have people want to follow you because you're the true, integrable person that you are. If you build it upon the principle, you don't have to worry about it changing. Think of it like this. Gravity works the same for me as it does Dwayne Jr. As I push, I don't know, 180 pounds, and Dwayne Jr. is probably close to 160 or so. If we jump off the building, he's not going to fall any faster than I do because of a principle. The principle is that all human weight falls at the same rate of speed, 9.3 meters per second. It's a principle. And when you use principles, you don't have to worry about what if it doesn't work for me because I'm a girl? What if it doesn't work for me because I'm black or I'm white? You don't have to think about it. You can apply the principle of permission-based leadership and literally give people a reason to follow you, not because they have to, not because you're tall, because you're strong, because you're good looking, because you've been doing it for 20 years. If you got it, let me know you got it with the letter Y. Now, I hope my voice isn't jumpy, Junior. Is it? Am I breaking up?
I mean, hey, that's real good stuff there.
First level is position. Yeah, it's the bottom level. That's why it's the bottom. It's only an app. You can get a title and have a position. I'm the dad, even though I act like a jerk. Or you can say I'm the husband, even though I'm not being a good husband. You can say position is just a title. I don't really get into that, but that's the bottom line, not the top. Now, permission-based is something special. It's something that pastors, some politicians, those who serve in hospitals and nonprofits, they're really good at permission-based. People are following them not for the money. People are following them not because of their good cologne or perfume or long, pretty hair or good-looking eyes. They're following them because they're worth following. And you guys can do this because you have 168 hours a week. I can't believe it. To be in a company and not know how it works. To be in a company and literally for months on end and blame somebody else because you don't know how to do it. You're given the same amount of time. You can literally give people something to follow by managing your time well enough to change this. Because when you change this, people can see it. People can see the flagpole that you're worth following. Let's move on. Position level leadership. Permission-based, but the higher we go up, the sweeter it gets, but it's going to require something from you. Do you not think if I told you the number of hours and all-nighters that the Dwayne Jr. and I stay up working on strategies, even to build this company and start it, do you have any idea how much time it took? I didn't expect anyone to follow until we put something together that was worth following and that we led by example, not just because we were the ones in charge. Don't follow me because of my color. Don't do it because of my height. I'm not real tall. Don't do it because of looks, because I'm not good looking. Do not do it because of my strength. I'm a feeble old man now if I've crossed the 50 mark. You can follow something else that's better. Watch us now. You can follow leadership. And then if somebody gets out of line with leadership, you can jump ship. But if they stay in line with leadership, you got something great to follow. I should move on, Junior.
Hey.
Because we've got to permission-based and position leadership. Here's a great one. Now, in every company, usually, Junior, it's about 1 to 3% that are what we call the producers. Now, here's a leadership that's different. These are the people who are followed because they produce production-based leadership. Production-based leadership. Now, many people could follow because it looks good. Great-looking websites. It sounds good. It's using the latest in technology. But production can't top it. You see, there's a saying out there that results don't lie and all that stuff, but people love to follow production-based leadership. Now, this is what happens when people follow you because of what you've done. Now, when you watch this now, when you layer this stuff, when you put the first layer on that you have the position, dibbly-ba-doo, but you also have worked to have permission-based leadership. People are following you because they choose to. No one forcing them to. They don't follow you because you're their upline. They follow you and enjoy the fact that you're the upline. And then when you throw in this third one, production-based leadership, this is the one that has killed a lot of even great leaders in this company. Because if you don't have the discipline to produce continually, you'll produce for a season, and people will follow for the season, but when the season's over, they stop following by the masses, and they follow in, of course, little increments. You can become a producer, and becoming a producer takes the same from all of us. You need to learn to work when others are sleeping. You need to have work on strategy, learning what you don't know. Don't let a day go by where you don't know more about this business. If, in fact, the business is going to fuel your dreams, if, in fact, the vision is going to actually help you to put that child in college, save your home, keep you from losing the car, help you to get the medical treatment you deserve, if it's going to happen that way, it deserves your time, not every so often when a bill is due, but daily. I don't know about you guys, but 7 days a week, I make sure something gets contributed to every business I have. That's what's required for production-based leadership. Junior will tell you that there are many of our friends and colleagues, they don't really care who we are. They come for production. We probably have sold a lot of their product for them. We probably have wanted to have software and things like we use, but they're not following us because they just like hanging out with the homeboys. They're maybe following because of this third layer that you deserve to have, and you can have it. Because here's the more great.
No one can argue with production, man. That's one thing that doesn't matter what you look like, you know, what disabilities you may have, what you look like, what you sound like, if you have a weird voice. It doesn't matter if you can produce. At the end of the day, if you can make sales, if you can produce, everybody wants to be a part of that.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. I mean, even you, all of us are that way. I like to follow people who are doing something. You can't argue with that third level. Sometimes we're a little cattywampus. You have great level 3, but you don't have any position. So some people can't hear you because you don't have that title. He didn't go to college. They come up with, sometimes you get a little cattywampus. You don't have one or two of the other items. The good news is you can always get what you don't have, but you want all layers. You want all levels. You want position. You want permission. Because here's what's beautiful about this whole thing. If you have been given permission to lead someone, that says volumes. They're trusting you with their family. They're trusting you with their dreams and visions. And then if you get caught up and you just veer them off somewhere different, and you lead them down all these dark paths that go nowhere, don't you understand? That is one of the reasons why you're like the ancient Chinese proverb. He who thinks he's leading and no one is following is only taking a walk. Some of you guys have had people there. Then you start walking and turn around and nobody's there anymore because you led them down a briar patch. You led them down an area where there's alligators. You led them down places, and let me help you with something. If you get to this point of permission-based leadership and graduate to production, you're literally strengthening the beams of that leadership, Now, that being said, let me tell you, you guys tonight, I hope this is being a blessing for you. This is helping you so far, as we still have other layers to get through. And if it is, I want you to know that it's about application. It's enough. It's enough. There's enough of this. The year's coming to an end. Some of you will be pulling your hair out in just a month and a half, 2 months. Some of you might be suicidal on the verge of divorce because of all this financial things that will crowd in on you, because a whole year went by and this stuff was not addressed. We want to lead people and have a big team and make money, but we're not doing things that will put us in position for it. I want to tell you tonight, no matter what company you're with, because this is bigger than Ingresso Cybernetica. It's not about that, right? I don't care what business you're in. The principles work the same. As I told you, principles work the same for all who apply it. So let's get moving and see what the next level is. As we look at the next level, I can't help it but think about this idea of being different tomorrow than I am today. I can't help but think about each of you being different next year than you were this year. And that comes with this fourth level. And might as well share it with you. The fourth level is that of people development. People development. Want to lead people, don't like them, don't get the permission to lead them, and yet, no, I'm not, you got to do what I say because I'm the upline. No, it's all about this, just having a position only. You produced in a season, but yet you want people to still stay with you. You really have missed the whole point when you can't understand it's so important to develop. I can't tell you how much, whatever you're experiencing right now with anything we provide, you must understand we develop ourselves every day. That's how important it is. We don't just read through a book. We read through it, go through it a second time and take notes. We try to learn anything we can, everything we can about it. Not just about what we have, but about how to better lead and manage and love people. There's so much here. And if you try to get by and lead a 6-figure income and 7-figure income consistently without the levels of leadership, it's not going to happen. Everything can go up once, but it'll go back down. But to lead it for a time and a season, didn't you know why most network marketing companies last about a year? Actually, I lied. Most of them last under 90 days. But the ones that last will last about a year, maybe a year and a half. There's a lot of things involved that really come into play, and you can plug it into your business so that the people that are following you long after a network marketing company is come and goes, they still follow you and would desire and literally give you their permission to take them wherever you're going, because you're abiding by the basic elements, the 5 levels of leadership: position, permission-based, production, and certainly people development. You guys have been here for a while. How much do I talk about this idea of development? 70% of your time should be put in developing yourself and your people. Yet, what do? We make promises. We tell them, just sign up. Don't worry, spill over and take care of it all. Just sign up. I'll make all the money for you. We try to rob people of their own development and wonder why no one's following a month later. It doesn't have to happen that way. You got all the opportunity in front of you to make a difference. Now, that being said, if this is making sense to you, let me know it's making sense, that you are able to really identify with this, and you certainly have found things you can apply already. Type in the number 4 so that I know that you have. Junior, you know, a lot of things over the years, it's easy for us to not take for granted, but kind of miss, because it's second nature. We don't think about it. But man, if there's one thing I could tell anybody building a business of any type, building your affiliate marketing business, building anything, trust me, if you do not build on your leadership, your success will be okay, but it cannot become insurmountable. It cannot. Even as an affiliate marketer, people follow reputations. Oh, you mean Precious? He's amazing. Are you talking about, oh, Ron Douglas, he's something else? That stuff, man, that's leadership. People are following production when you see that. They also follow permission-based when they keep going back to the same person every time and buying from them. It doesn't matter if you're in CPA. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You want it to go on and have a business that's going to last? These are the principles you put in it.
Yeah, man.
I should go further, Dwayne. I should get to the 5th level, because I'm one of those people that maybe I'm a hopeless romantic and thinking that everyone can do that. Everyone can't be a genius team builder and just literally recruit everybody under the sun. Everyone cannot put the best emails together to grow their team and do trainings for them, but everyone can apply principles. I truly believe that regardless of that, I'm telling you this, if this special education dude can do it, right? I flunked a few times, right? Just really struggled academically my entire life until I became an adult. If I can do this stuff, you can do it. I had a family to fight for too. I had little kids. I get it. I know what it means to not be sure you're going to pay the next bill. I know what it means to lose everything. Everything. When Dwayne was young, we lost everything. My wife and I had to move in with her parents at one time. And even with my own brother at one time. Times got hard, and I had to learn to fight and build upon things. Don't you understand? What you are witnessing isn't some guy out here who's somebody special. No, I just build on principles that are special. So it's independent of me, independent of my health, independent of my sound or my appropriateness. Building upon principles would do that. So I've got to get to number 5 as we get moving. And I love number 5. Why do I care so much about number 5? Junior, you know, this is the part that most of us have trouble coming to grips with. Let me just go ahead and share it with these guys too, so they can know what in the world the boy's talking about. Leadership principle number 5. This is the 5th level, the highest level of leadership that you should be entangled with. And we call this the personhood level. People follow you because of who you are. That's about respect. And unfortunately, if you don't build upon this, of who you are, if you don't build upon it, if you don't build upon not only who you are, but your mental ability, you won't grow this mind of yours, and you give people the same person this year that was 3 months ago, no wonder no one else is following. You can't, if you are the same person you were 4 years ago, guess what? You haven't given people something worth following. Don't you know that the challenges that all of us have, financially, mentally, and all the things we do, or everything we're living today is a direct result of what we've become over the last 3 to 5 years? Don't you know that? What you're reading, what you're diving into, what you're practicing, what you are living now is a direct result. And if you spend 6-7 hours a day not doing any of it to build this, maybe building your entertainment, no wonder no one wants to follow. It's not groovy anymore. You need this highest level. And it's okay not to be who you ought to be. None of us are. I'm working on this guy. Junior, I know you're working on that guy. So
You know it, man. Absolutely.
As we talk about this, you guys have to get this. You must continually build on this daily. If you know as much about IC as you did 90 days ago, no wonder you probably haven't had any payments above $125. It requires more. The building blocks have to happen. You have to. You must. We told you guys, read this book, read that one. The whole way through the 30-day blueprint would tell you to build upon you, because then you become someone worth following, independent of those good looks, which do go sour, right? Independent of all that hair you got, because it does thin out and go away. Independent of that fancy car you drive that is only new at first, but it does get older every single day. Independent of all that stuff, give people something worth following. Give them that principle of personhood. Who you're becoming, it's something special. You were so amazing 90 days ago. My upline was just so awesome how they handled this, but I'm not living by the old testimony. You want to see how she's doing it today. She's something wonderful. I watched her as I had two people not sure about a smart order, and I put her on the phone and upline, and I watched how she dealt with them. She understood it so well. I wish I knew as much. I got to follow her because I want to become as good as she is. That's the principle of personhood. Give them something to follow. Shame on you if everything that comes up in your business, you really aren't the person to handle it. You've never grown that person. So the fifth level that pays you the most, you can't cash in on. You're still cashing in on position leadership. Well, they're signing up with me because I've got one of the largest downlines in the company. Not enough, and you know it. Well, they're following me because last year, or in March, I had a $18,000 month. That's only going to last you for a minute. When people follow because of the personhood and production, people development and position, do you not understand what you've given was a solid rock? Let me tell you something. What I love about universal principles, they're also biblical principles. You cannot afford to expect your business to pay you in all these different ways when you're one-dimensional. You cannot. You cannot. What happens then is, forget the residual flow of what I'm talking about. You will be paid from production only. And what's crazy about it, only your production, because no one's following. When that happens, your income looks drastically different. Anyone who is building millions or billions will tell you it is done from leveraging your relationships. If you're only making money from the work that you're doing, you should run back to your last job and don't leave again. If you're in multi-level marketing, it is about leading people through multiple levels because you're worth following and because their life is going to change too. You can't do this if you're only one-dimensional. So if you don't develop yourself, that's part of the issue tonight. If, in fact, you want people to follow you because you are in the upline or you were there first, not good enough. If you want to force people to follow you, that's not going to work. I'm crying out to you tonight because you and your families deserve to hear the truth. Don't you understand? You're not the first person to struggle. I grew up poor. I grew up poor. And when Junior was born, my wife and I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, rat and roach infested, with the light roach bombs every week. It was a struggle. It was a horrible thing. So you're not the only, I get it. We have nothing, but you can do this. But if you don't build it upon principles, if you're building it because you're promised something, all you're doing is following people around who don't possess the 5 levels, you're in trouble. Don't you do the math? If you've been here for 2 years and you've been led into 4 or 5 different companies, only to have the person that led you there leave that company first, don't you smell it? Don't you see it? It's not about Ingresso. It's bigger. It's bigger than that. It's about you. It's about what you can become in the process. My heart goes out. I'm going to turn off the V-merge because I want you to hear me. You can do this. It's the 15 to 30 minutes a day that you don't put in. You did it for a week. I went through the 30-day blueprint. I did it in 5 days. Then you stopped learning. I'm going to ask you this. If I'm the one that created the company that you're in, and I have to spend hours daily in building this, what makes you think you're going to keep building? I have to keep building this to make things go. What makes you think you're just going to get a ride, a free ride? You can do this. Build it. I'm asking you to build it. If it's not IC, build whatever company you're in, but build it. Build it. Now, I tell you that the position level of leadership, which is the first level, the position level is something that all of you already get. Well, the minute you join, you have a position. I'm there. I'm there before the next people come in. You've got that. That part's done for you. Permission-based. You can be good to people. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to throw F-bombs in their face or tell them why they're lazy and talk at people. You can actually engage them even though it's uncomfortable, so that they in return will give you permission to lead them down the correct path. You can do that. Here's something that will give you great permission-based leadership if you're ready to hear it. If you'd like to hear it, let me know. Just type in the letter Y if you want to hear it. I'm gonna share with you exactly one of the primary ways you can build permission-based leadership, where people follow you because they desire to, not just because of your production, not just because of your title, but they want to follow you. Okay, fantastic. Here you go. The permission-based leadership that you can be granted can come when you do whatever you can, 15 to 20 minutes a day, to learn more about your company. So when someone calls you that you sponsored and have a question, you can actually know the answer. You dive in. You dive in. Don't expect to live out. Yes, you know how to make where the checks come from, and you know what days we get paid. Who doesn't know that? You know how 2x2 works. That's great. Keep building. Learn more. Learn more. How dare you think that you can bring in a group of a few hundred or a few thousand and know nothing about this company, expected to last 6 months later? You know what that's like? It's like being a parent, working with your spouse to have some children. You know nothing about children. You don't know about feeding them, getting their inoculations, taking care of their health. And so the kids won't live more than a year. You have to keep going out and make more. Some of you in that same position, you have to keep going out and building because you never led people properly. As a result, it's stinging you. It's stinging your success. You think the answer lies in things are not built on principles or substance. So then every time something new pops up, you're there, first in line. I'm in the top 5 that joined it, right? And at that time, you said, I'm here, I'm going to go all in. The wind blew, that left, and now you're up leading people that you were only leading from positional based. You lead them to something different. And every time you lead them something different, you have less people going every time. Now you don't even have reputation. So you can do it. You got to insist on building what you have. Build what you have. Many of you know the last decade, I own a lot of different online business stuff, but I don't abandon them. So if you look back to 2005 and 6, I still own and maintain my golden domains. I still have to be, I don't abandon it for something new. I believe in multiple streams of income. You build something up to make income, then you build something different, but you never abandon the first. You guys don't know how to do, you try to put your foot on first and second base at the same time. You build one up and you come back to it. Build it up. For goodness sakes, build it up. And you can't build it up just because you joined. Just because you're paid in the highest level, no matter what someone lied to you and said, it's not enough to just build it. I mean, to just pay money. It's not enough. You actually have to apply yourself. You really do. So, okay, if I'm going to be at the $300 level, I'm going to do everything I can to know everything about this level. I'm talking about being in the manager's level. If I'm going to be on the director's level, the $500 level, I'm going to do I'm going to learn everything about it. So when it's time to sign someone up for that level, they can ask me the question. They're going to know I'm the business owner because I give them the answer. I don't pretend, well, just go look at a video. I'm going to tell them, and then I'm going to tell them where they can get it. I'm going to know the solutions before the problems arise. And when you do that, you're the kind of person that we all want to follow. Even I want to follow you. If you got it, fantastic. So hope you wrote them down. If you didn't write them down, I'm going to go say it one more time. Level 1, the basic level of leadership is position-based. People follow because they have to. They have to because you have the title, right? You don't like them, but you just have to because you already signed up under them. The company doesn't let you move, so you have to. What a horrible reason to follow anybody, right? Level 2, it's called permission-based. This one's based on relationships. People follow you because they desire to. They want to follow you because you're worth following. Something about you is special. The way you deal with people, the way you apply yourself. I just want to be like you. That's the permission level of leadership. The third one, production-based. Man, people follow you because of what you've done. It's based on results. Man, when you combine the synergy of these three, woo! You know, in 2 weeks, I was going to be doing an event in West Palm Beach with Dwayne Jr. and a few other colleagues. I'm not going to be doing that now. Oh, my heart's broken because I really wanted to pour myself out. There's so much of this stuff I want to teach you guys, and I want to see you apply it so you understand it has nothing to do with having the coolest toys, right? Having the sexiest webpage. It has something to do with who you are inside. And when you apply this, man, it won't matter what you do. You will do it well. The fourth level of leadership, so for those of you that missed it, it's people development. Become something better and then teach your people to become something better. Work on you. If you learn something new every day, teach it to your people so they can learn it every day. Your numbers, your success, your dollar amounts will increase and be on the rise. And the last one I told you guys was personhood. And people follow you because of who you are. This is based on respect. And you can earn that. And every one of you can do this. I believe with all my heart that our mission vision for starting Ingress with Cybernetica was not a waste, is not a waste. We have a meeting with about 500 to 1,000 people in Barranquilla in 2 weeks. I don't know that I'm going to be there because I have some health things to take care of. But people are coming in every day from all over the world, not because we're something special, but because we chose to build it on a specific list of principles that is all about serving people, not ourselves. We did that because we know the 5 levels. We know that there's no reason to follow us if all we are is about the money. You've all have followed enough companies that it's about the money, and the company serves all the money back in their own pockets and brag about the private jets and the Rolls Royces. We put it back on you, and we give you an opportunity. But what I'm asking you to do is never, ever, just commit. I want every one of you to commit to never being a part of another business that you want to apply yourself to, where you won't develop you so you can have all 5 levels. If you're going to commit to that, type in the number 1 for me tonight. I would love to know that it's worth that for you, that you're willing to do that and give 100% of yourself and building it on principles that don't change. Didn't you ever wonder why some great things and great companies don't last or great entrepreneurs don't make it? If you don't build on principles, it's subject to change. Principles don't change. The same principle of buoyancy from 1,000 years ago is still there, right? You could just put it on principle because they don't change. Universal principles don't change. I'm asking you, apply it. Apply it, because your people that are following you deserved it. When they gave their last money to join and didn't pay their car payment or their insurance or their rent, they trusted you to lead them down to get the answer. And instead, you led them to 3 other companies to spend more money at. And you haven't produced in any of them more than once. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You have literally, you were given permission by these people, permission-based leadership, the second level, and you blew it. You don't have to continue it though. You blew it. They trusted you to lead them down the right path and show them the way, and you led them everywhere, right? Except for personal development. You didn't help them to develop themselves by you developing every day. You produced once, and that production was based on them joining, but you didn't do anything else. You stopped. As soon as they were done coming in, you joined something else. You can do it. You can make a change, my friends, all of you. And if I'm no longer here, if anything were to ever happen to me, I'd want you to listen to the principles and not the guy. It's bigger than me. It's long after I'm dead and gone, the principles will work, but you have to apply them so that you can make a difference in the lives of the people following you that include your family and loved ones. If you believe you can do that, we're on the same page. Now, I will take a couple of questions because we're done in about 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. If you have any questions for me about this, I only want to talk about what we're covering, what I'm talking about. You want to do that? Because I want to make sure anybody, if you have something you want to say about this, I welcome a comment and or a question. But you are worth it to me. There's not a person in my life that won't tell you. There won't be. If somebody bothers me while I'm working on your behalf, I tell them, not now, I'm busy. Even during this webinar, I've had a number of Skypes. And so if I don't answer, when I'm working for the people that I serve, I don't stop. And some of you know it. Some of you try to ask me a question when I'm working for you. Not going to do it. Not in the middle. I'm producing something that's changing lives around the globe. I don't want to throw it away to hobnog and have small talk. I'm asking you to get the same discipline and do it. Plug it in. If there are no questions, I want to wish each of you and your families an amazing fourth quarter. And I'm begging you, don't wait until Thanksgiving or the 3 days before Christmas to make all this important to you. Start now. Give it your all. If your dreams are worth it, you will learn to sacrifice what I consider false fun for now to have a lot of enjoyment later. Learn how to say no to hours and hours of your television. Learn how to say no to when your friends just want you to go out. Learn how to say no. Give it your all. What's the hardest concept I've ever struggled with in terms of building a business? My greatest struggle was being tough. When I started building a business and it was time for me to recruit people, my hardest thing for me to get over was being on the phone so long. I did not, when someone says, I don't know, what makes me think, it took me almost 2 months or so to get over this. Someone would ask me, well, what's this thing all about? I would become so intimidated that I would start answering them. But my life changed. Watch this now. My life changed when I was able to give this kind of an answer. Well, first of all, what I have is so valuable, I would not dare demean it or lower its value by trying to spit out to you in 2 minutes. So here's the deal. I can certainly let you know what it's all about, but I'm not going to just spit it out in one answer because it's way more valuable than that. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Either your financial freedom is worth 15 to 20 minutes of your time or it's not. If it's not, I get it. It was so hard for me to be so brutally honest. When I behaved, good question, James. When I behaved like I was against the ropes and uncomfortable, it gave strength to the person I was prospecting, and they never respected me enough to join. But when I started drawing the line, oh my gosh, the difference it made. When I told people, guess what? I will let you know if you qualify to be a part of my team. Now, with this company, you can join anybody, but to be a part of our team where we're winners, oh, You're not getting in just because you pay. Just because you have a check or you have a credit card is not enough. I interviewed, when I started interviewing people to see if they qualified to be a part of my business team, that changed my income by huge amounts. Good question. Got it. Got it. I got it, Evelyn. Nobody can see that but me. I'm going to respond to you in a short minute. Any other questions? Great question. Send me your email address privately, Evelyn. Thank you. Who else? Great question, James. Love it. Okay, here's one. Good question. Wow. Okay, that was it. You guys are awesome. And there's nothing else. You guys are wonderful. These days, I'm not doing much. I'm sitting around in pajamas. I mean, for you guys, I shaved and got dressed. I got rid of the Uncle Remus look and I cleaned up. But I've been sitting around and laying around. I've not been feeling well lately, but I'm going to tell you something. You're worth it. And I want you to think about your downline when you hear what I'm saying. If they're worth it, do some extra work. And when it's time to do something on behalf of someone else, do it. Right? You can do that. Anyone else? If there's nothing else, Earl said there is one. I didn't see it. Earl, you have to type in here. If you put it in Skype, I can't answer you there. I'm not sure where that question is. Okay. Cool. You're nowhere. Okay, here it goes. All right, guys. Regardless of your height, color, gender, age, we want to let you know that you're important to us, and that that importance is not based on any dollar value or any. It's not based on any number of people that you've been able to build in your team. It's based on you. But you're going to have that see that same value in yourself and really invest into yourself. I am tired of people who are looking for investments and all that. Invest in yourself because you can do it. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you in a couple of days. I have another webinar coming on business building. You don't want to miss it, and get everybody on your team there when you get the invitation, because I'm not holding back anything. I'm going to give you everything I've got over the next few weeks. Take care.